Up in flames, the Douglas Trading Post, the former location of the historic Douglas Tavern, is engulfed in a massive fire. The landmark building now nothing more than a burnt-out shell. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. A landmark building in the community of Douglas, Ontario, has been destroyed in a raging fire that took hours to put out. The Douglas Trading Post, formerly the location of the popular Douglas Tavern, is an iconic piece of the municipality's history. No one was hurt in the fire, but the building is a write-off. CTV's Dylan Dyson's back from Douglas and joins us live now with more details. Dylan.
Stefan, while no one was hurt, many are mourning the loss of the Trading Post and former tavern as a major loss in the community. The call for the fire came in at 8 p.m. Monday night. Flames could be seen shooting through the roof of the building before the fire engulfed the attached home, which was once a hotel. Firefighters say they had to break through multiple levels of roofs before being able to attack the flames, which allowed it to intensify. The fire wasn't under control until 3 a.m. The Douglas fire chief, who is a member of the family who were former owners of the tavern and grew up in the building, says the cause of the fire is unknown at this point.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words. It's not mine anymore, but in part of me it always will be. And to have to make that phone call to Mum and tell her that it's gone. She hasn't been here yet, and I hope she doesn't come today. But it's a tough one.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. It was as recent as October 2024 that the new owners added a diner to what had become the Douglas Trading Post. The owners say the building was insured but don't anticipate the payout to cover the cost of rebuilding. Nevertheless, there is an appetite from everyone in the community, including the owners, to eventually rebuild one day.
That
Stefan.
Irish jig, so memorable. CTV's Dylan Dyson reporting live for us. Thank you, Dylan. Turning now to Venezuela, where officials say at least 24 Venezuelan soldiers were killed in the American operation to capture the country's president, Nicolas Maduro, over the weekend. And as we wait to learn what's next for the South American nation, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live now after speaking with some Cuban Canadians here in the capital. Austin, what are you hearing?
Well, Stefan, members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition tell me that they are grateful to the American administration for their intervention in Venezuela and for arresting Nicolas Maduro. They say that he is someone who is responsible for a, quote, bloody regime. But this is a situation that could deeply affect Cuba, which relies heavily on Venezuelan oil. Energy insecurity is a major concern for the island nation, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common as the Cuban economy struggles. One retired professor of economics and international affairs at Carleton University tells me if the U.S. decides to tighten the embargo on Cuba to force a regime change, that could have dire circumstances for Cuban citizens. Still, Cuban expats here in Ottawa say they will continue to push for a democratic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
The people once in 2021 went to the street. They were hunted back in their houses, and now they are afraid. But whatever is little left of that dictatorship is going to be way, way less now without that support from Venezuela.
And at least 32 Cuban security officers were also killed in U.S. airstrikes in Venezuela over the weekend. That's according to Cuban officials. Now, if oil does stop flowing from Venezuela into Cuba, it's unclear right now how the island nation will be able to meet demand. Stefan.
CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us. Thank you for that update, Austin. Today marks a significant milestone for OC Transpo Light Rail. 1 year ago, the new Line 2 and 4 launched, and although it was more than 2 years behind schedule, the numbers show that passengers are taking light rail. CTV's Leah LaRock joins us live now with more. Leah.
Well, Stefan, this wasn't just a test for the Trillium line. This was a test for OC Transpo, and if they could launch a successful light rail line. Their service admits there was some challenges like working through freeze-thaw cycles, but on big tests like Canada Day or Bluesfest, the trains were reliable. This is light rail coming into Carleton campus. It's a welcome sight for students who went years without this service. Opening 2 years behind schedule, Line 2 has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South. Line 4 is the spur to the airport. Students at Carleton say some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is much more reliable than the buses and is on schedule. Here's OC Transpo Interim General Manager Troy Charter.
Made all the right decisions, and for the first year of operation, we're right around that 98% service reliability, something our customers really deserve and something they expect. And so we've been really happy with the performance of the rail line, the trains, and our staff and our maintainer as well. It's been a real good team effort.
In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging about 24,000 passengers a day. Now, OC Transpo says the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation line, which, as we all know, Stefan, led to a public inquiry. They said they were more transparent, better prepared, and, of course, never promised that exact opening date.
Right, and still waiting for that East End extension.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Leah. Cornwall police say a shooting over the weekend that left 2 people dead and 1 with serious injuries was a murder-suicide and an act of intimate partner violence. Officers were called to a home on Leach Drive shortly after 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Police say the 81-year-old man who lived in the home shot his 80-year-old ex-partner and her 83-year-old male friend. He then shot himself. Both men are dead. The woman is still in hospital. This investigation is ongoing. In the meantime, Ottawa police have charged a snowplow operator after a crash with a small SUV in Ottawa's West End last night. It happened on Fernbank Road at Blackside Road around 7 o'clock. Police say the driver of the snowplow was arrested for driving under suspension following a lifetime driving ban and also had an outstanding warrant with the OPP. Some lawyers say a new online portal intended to streamline access to Ontario's court system is instead creating new hurdles and unpredictable delays. The portal was launched in the fall to allow people to file documents, pay fees, and find virtual links for court hearings in non-criminal matters. However, lawyers say tasks which used to take a day or two, like scheduling a motion, can now take weeks. They also claim the portal is not completely synced up with the Superior Court of Justice's mandatory document sharing platform and may not show every case a lawyer is participating in. Canada's top figure skaters are in Gatineau this week for the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships.
And I'm so excited to compete here.
More than 300 junior and senior athletes are competing for national titles. Multiple events every day this week taking place at the Centre Slush Papi. It's your chance to see both Canada's best figure skaters along with the upcoming future stars.
This is the biggest event of the year for us. You know, this is a junior and senior competition. 300 athletes from across the country competing in singles, pairs, ice dance, and synchronized skating.
On Sunday, the Canadian Olympic Committee and Skate Canada will officially announce Team Canada's figure skating athletes who will represent our country at the Winter Olympics next month at the event.
We're still dealing with birds that were bred in the 70s and 80s. They're still in the system, and we're still pumping out new birds.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, why some are calling for better support systems to take care of pet parrots. And our Jackie Paris is joining us live in studio with our first check on the weather forecast. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Mainly cloudy skies is what we saw today. And if it was still a little chilly, it's a little bit milder than what we saw yesterday. Temperatures, though, are going to continue to warm up as we work towards our Friday. Overnight temperatures, overnight lows, I should say, is about -6. There is a chance that we could see up to 5 centimeters of snow as a large weather system is making its way through most of the province. Tomorrow, daytime high -2 with a chance of flurries lingering. We will have a full look at your forecast and more details on this coming snow in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's a live check on traffic. Belfast in the westbound lanes are slowing down. Riverside eastbound, you're seeing some slowdowns as well for people headed towards Orleans. Other stretches of the Queensway looking good right now, but again, you might find some backups around Parkdale and Carling and Kirkwood. Stay with us. You're watching CTV News at 5. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. Passenger comfort on airplanes are once again in the spotlight after a video recently posted to social media went viral. The person who posted it says it was taken on a WestJet flight departing Edmonton. It's raising questions about how much legroom passengers should have. Take a look.
Dad, could you just straighten out your legs there? That's impossible.
Well, that doesn't look comfy at all. The video has been viewed more than 1 million times on social media. It's prompted frustration from travelers who say seat restrictions are going too far. Today's radio question of the day is asking, should Canadian Airlines prioritize customer experience?
I really think it's horrible that they're actually, making us pay for comfort. I mean, if my flight was under 2 hours, I would not pay extra. Over 2 hours, I guess I would have no choice, right? Like a 4-hour flight, I would pay extra.
Christy Cameron is here with more. Christy, this is certainly a heavy debate, especially on social media. The other day I saw, I don't know if it was a meme or real, but it was talking about standing seats. And I was like, well, if you're standing, it's not a seat.
Well, to be honest, looking at that video, I'd rather be standing than trying to stuff myself into a tiny little space like that. I mean, people increasingly are feeling more like sardines. We're in the middle of a tin can, flying through the air, getting safely to your destination, but certainly not doing so in style or comfort. And it's an interesting debate because what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize cost or comfort? It looks like these days we can't have both. These seats, not only in actually where your knees go and your feet, but also even just like the width where you're sitting down with your bottom has been shrinking for years. And we've seen this. It's no longer the era of glamour in the 1960s or the 70s. Like, people are getting on airplanes and they have nowhere to sit. Now, I just want to point out, it's not just a safety thing. It is a comfort thing and a safety thing. Imagine trying to get up and to move around, let's say, to make sure that you don't get a blood clot if you've got a medical issue. You can't even sit in your seat that way. But I don't think it's changing anytime soon.
Because air travel used to be luxurious, but comfort isn't necessarily a luxury. It can be a health risk, as you mentioned.
And I'll point out, I mean, it's not just Canadian Airlines. It's not just WestJet, Air Canada, Porter. There are all sorts of European airlines that are going through this as well.
Definitely.
Everything is getting smaller.
Especially those budget airlines.
Yeah, your seat is like the size of a postage stamp.
Oh, goodness. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now you can watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA page. It's one of the most popular pets in Canada, but animal rescues warn a parrot crisis is growing as resources shrink. That's why the largest parrot rescue in Eastern Ontario is launching a pilot program aimed at stopping the problem from getting worse.
We're still dealing with birds that were bred in the 70s and 80s. They're still in the system, and we're still pumping out new birds.
Under the pilot, adopters would pay a $20 monthly fee, helping cover ongoing support, education, and boarding, with the guarantee the parrot can return if it can no longer be cared for. The goal, to keep parrots in one stable place for as long as possible.
Rather than using the traditional rescue model, we're looking at it from an insurance or a pension point of view, actuarial point of view. Mathematically, this might be what allows professional rescues to take hold. If we can prove that, yes, this is more humane.
The owner of Parrot Partners Canada, Judy Tennant, says unlike cats and dogs, there's no safety net when owners can no longer care for them, even as parrots continue to be bred and sold in pet stores, some for thousands of dollars.
I am very happy to join Blue Jays. I will work hard every day.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, introducing the newest member of the Toronto Blue Jays, the Japanese slugger who could be a game changer for the team. Here's what else you need to know. It's that time of year again for Ottawa homeowners. You have until March 19th to complete your vacant tax unit. The declaration online. Anyone who submits after that deadline faces a $250 late fee. Visit the City of Ottawa's website for steps to complete the form online. You can also complete it by phone or in person. Welcome back. A wintry mix is moving through the province. Here in Ottawa, Environment Canada forecasts up to 5 centimeters of snow by tomorrow morning. With another check on the weather, here's Jackie Pears, who's live in studio for us tonight. Jackie.
Well, thanks, Stefan. Yes, depending on where you are in eastern Ontario, you could be hit with freezing rain or snow overnight, which will make for slick roads tomorrow morning. But for now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. No snow yet in sight, showcasing Parliament Hill and Chateau Laurier, dazzling in bright lights. Catch the winter lights across Canada between downtown Ottawa and Gatineau until tomorrow. The current temperature is -10 right now. And here's the interesting thing is that it's going to actually start to get milder and warmer in terms of temperatures. But with this brings this large weather system that is really moving through parts of Ontario. A lot of it is going to be focusing on the southern part of Ontario. There's freezing rain warning in effect, 1 to 5 millimeters of ice buildup, and that's going to be expected into tomorrow morning. Here for eastern Ontario, what's it going to affect? Well, Kingston and Brockville under a freezing rain warning. There is a special weather statement also in effect, so parts in and around the lake area could anticipate icy, slippery conditions on the road. So watch out and be careful for this. So we could anticipate this moving into the overnight hours. By Wednesday morning, though, we are anticipating it to be clear. Here in Ottawa, we mentioned a little bit of that snow moving through up to 5 centimeters, but daytime highs for tomorrow is going to be about -2 degrees. And we will see maybe a little bit of sunshine moving through into the afternoon, but most of the day will be anticipated cloudy conditions. Temperatures across the region about 0 for the daytime high in the Seaway, overcast conditions, and then our friends towards the valleys -3 and cloudy for the daytime high for your Wednesday. Taking a look at this 5-day forecast, yes, a chance of flurries will continue into the evening for our Wednesday. Overnight low about -4, and then you're going to see temperatures are going to start to warm up 1 degree for our Thursday, 5 degrees for Friday, but with this will come some rain, and we are anticipating between 3 to 5 millimeters of rain. But Stefan, I will take the mild conditions.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on ctvnewsottawa.ca. It's a new year. With New Year's comes new rules sometimes. A lot of people are trying to remember what is the changes when it comes to the recycling program here in the city of Ottawa. Well, we do have an article that is reminding you, if you just go to our homepage, when it comes to the Blue Box program, it is no longer the city picking it up. There's a company doing so, and they will take things like black plastics now. They won't take everything, but if you need a reminder, the full list is online, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
What we like about it, it's the same shape as a real Zamboni.
Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, a very cool tool taking an outdoor rink to the next level in West Quebec. If you need gas this evening, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the Canadian Tire on 10th Line Road in Orleans. Regular gas there tonight is going for 109.3 cents a litre. Here's another live check on traffic. We're seeing some major slowdowns in the eastbound lanes at Woodruff on the 417. Some other usual suspects around Riverside in the eastbound lanes. Westbound at Nicholas starts to slow down and things back up significantly around Parkdale. You're watching CTV News at 5.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature right now is -10. If you factor in that wind chill, it feels more like -16. If you're going skating on the canal tonight, make sure you bundle up. And here's what we're working on for 6.
It's hard to put it into words. It's not mine anymore, but in part of me, it always will be.
A community mourning the loss of an iconic building. The Douglas Trading Post and former location of the Douglas Tavern is destroyed by a raging fire.
You don't see this very often in the wintertime. I think most of the time they're cleared through, but this time we realized they were stuck.
The St. Lawrence Seaway was set to close for boating for the season on January 5th, but that's been delayed due to ice buildup. 23 ships are currently stuck in the system as officials work to clear the ice around the locks so the vessels can make their way to Montreal.
For the first year of operation, we're right around that 98% service reliability.
Marking a significant milestone for OC Transpo. It has been 1 year since the launch of the LRT lines 2 and 4. We'll take a look back at the Trillium line's first year on the tracks and what passengers have to say about the service. Now, the final 5 other stories we're following today. A backyard hockey rink on a Quebec lake is getting major attention thanks to a homemade Zamboni built by a neighbor.
What we like about it, it's the same shape as a real Zamboni.
We're able to use hot water, which cures and repairs the ice better than cold water.
The machine was designed to help maintain the ice on Long Lake in Mayo, about 50 kilometers northeast of Gatineau. Chris Flynn has been flooding and caring for a community rink there for more than a decade.
I am very happy to join Blue Jays. I will work hard every day.
The Toronto Blue Jays introduced fans to their newest player today. Japanese slugger Kazuma Okamoto signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Jays. The acquisition is part of Toronto's off-season bid to get back to the World Series.
Downhill with a shot fought off the rebound. They score! Dylan Cousin!
The Ottawa Senators hosted the Detroit Red Wings at the CTC last night. The Sens were hoping to make it 3 wins in a row, but Detroit ended up taking off with the win. The final score, 5-3 for the Red Wings. The Sens play again tomorrow on the road against the Utah Mammoth.
McKenna centers it. Here's Hayes with the backhand shot, ripping it down, rebound, score!
Canada took the bronze at the World Junior Hockey Championships last night in Minnesota. The Canadians downed Finland 6-3 in their final game of the tournament. The medal is Canada's first at the World Juniors in 3 years. Sweden won the gold after downing Czechia. New data from StatsCan shows spending by international tourists in Canada was up in the third quarter. Tourism spending rose 0.7% as more international visitors spent money across most tourism industries. Accommodation services saw the biggest increase. However, spending by Canadian tourists within the country slowed, increasing by just 0.5% rather. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join us for CTV News at 6. The early edition of CTV National starts now.